Good morning, friends. Greetings and welcome to The Bright Side, your nutritional program dedicated to the understanding of the vast world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. I'm your host, Pharmacist Ben, nutritional pharmacist from Boulder, Colorado. I use nutritional supplements where other healthcare practitioners use toxic pharmaceutical drugs and sometimes deadly medical procedures. If you suspect that there are natural nutritional roads to your health and vitality and well-being, and to addressing your health challenges, whatever they may be, but you don't know where to begin, you have come to the right place. As you listen to The Bright Side every day, you are more and more in control of your body, you are more and more knowledgeable, and you know you can overcome any health challenge. That is why we are here every day on The Bright Side, helping clear up the sometimes confusing world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. Over the last 32 years of practicing pharmacy, I've seen drug-free recoveries from diabetes, hypertension, obesity, skin diseases like acne, psoriasis, eczema, rosacea, digestive ailments, autoimmune issues of all kinds, recoveries that by the standards of modern medicine can only be called a miracle. But what is in the world of the body, what is in the world of biology, standard operating procedure. Because the human biological system is a healing system. It's a regenerating system. It is designed divinely to heal and renew itself on a moment-to-moment basis. And while some folks may call that healing, renewing, regenerating system a miracle, it really is just the way the body works. If you have questions about health, nutrition, prescription drugs, if you want to wean yourself off your meds and get on a good nutritional supplement program, you've come to the right place. We want to be your go-to resource for all things health and nutrition. 844-236-6010 is our number on The Bright Side, 844-236-6010. Got lines open for you if you have questions about the longevity products, longevity business, health challenges you or a loved one may be dealing with. If you have a success story you'd like to share, or if you just want to comment on anything we're speaking about here today, 844-236-6010 is our number on The Bright Side. If you want to purchase longevity products, go to brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. And don't forget to sign up to join the Brightside Ben team for a one-time $25 fee. You can be in business for yourself. You can help spread the word about the power and importance of a good nutritional supplement program, all while you're making a little bit of money working out of your home office. If you're an entrepreneur, it's an ideal way to make a little supplemental income or make a primary income. A lot of folks are working full-time, doing the longevity business full-time. And I say work, but it's not really work. You're really just helping change the world. You're helping change the world at the most basic and fundamental level there is, which is the level of good health. By providing the longevity supplements, so many people have benefited from the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, but you know what? There's still millions and millions and millions of people who still have no idea about the power of nutritional supplementation, number one, or about the power of the longevity products, specifically the Beyond Tangy Tangerine and the Healthy Start Pack, in addition to all the other really potent, powerful, and effective longevity supplements, which you can find out all about at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. You can also call 866-735-2470, 866-735-2470 for more information. Our number today, 844-236-6010, and we do have lines open for you. We're talking about the energy nature of the body, the energetics of the body, how the body processes energy, how it works through energy, this amazing high-tech, super science fiction-like organism called the human body. We give no thought about how amazing and how just ridiculously improbable all of the things that have to go on to form a human body are. From the way the heart beats, to the way cells grow and divide, to the way we eliminate waste, to the way we digest our food. You know, digesting food is one of the greatest miracles that could ever be. How the heck does today's lunch become tomorrow's arm? How does that happen? You know, food gets turned into blood. That's basically what happens at the level of the digestive system. Our food gets turned into blood, and then our blood gets turned into our bodies. This is just the most mind-blowing phenomena, the most mind-blowing process. How this happens is just incredible. And we give it no thought. We take it for granted. Not only do we give it no thought and take it for granted, we abuse it, highly abuse it. And the only reason we abuse it is because we're not really aware of what's happening. At the end of the day, the body is the manifestation of structured, organized energy that has come in through food. For better or worse, crappy food, crappy body. It really is that simple. We talk a lot about the ins and outs and the minutia, and I find it extremely fascinating, all the biochemistry and the physics, the quantum physics, all the real specific details about how the body works. But at the end of the day, it's garbage in, garbage out. It's really quite simple. It's in with the, if you're sick, it's because we got too much bad stuff coming in and not enough good stuff coming in. So you want to get healthy, bad stuff out, good stuff in. Is that simple or simplistic? It's not simplistic. It's simple, but it's not simplistic. It's exactly what's happening. If you want to get healthy, put the good stuff in, keep the bad stuff out. How does the bad stuff get in? Through our mouth. Now, there's definitely bad thoughts, and there's bad emotions, and there's disconnection from spirituality. Those are all major factors. Major factors are not minor factors. Spirituality, mental and emotional. Spiritual, mental, emotional, physical. In that order, SMEP. Don't forget that. However, from a physical perspective, it's the crap we're eating and the deficiency in the nutrition, and that's, at the end of the day, that's what you're basically talking about. Probably that you can throw in oxygen and sedentary lifestyle into the mix too. So we eat food. Food represents energy. It also, if it's good food, it also represents organizing molecules. Call it macro and micronutrition. Oxygen is also important. And then the whole thing goes into the system through the blood. Yesterday we talked about how the blood moves around, moves through the body in a vortical fashion, like a vortex. Vortex is a very fundamental shape, a tornado, or water going down the drain. Those are examples of vortexes. My favorite example of a vortex is a blender. That's what I'm always saying, blend your vegetables. Use a Vitamix. When you're using a Vitamix, you're creating a vortex. That vortex is highly energetic. It turns the vegetable and the electrical nature of the vegetable in the water into a super electrical system. You're drinking electricity when you turn your veggies into a vortex. All disease is cell disease, and all cell disease is preceded by dirty blood. Dirty blood is blood that does not have the same vortical nature. It's not like it doesn't work like a vortex as effectively because it's clogged. So the tornado shape, a vortex is just a tornado shape. The tornado shape is not efficient. It's not generating electrical energy. And when it doesn't generate electrical energy, not only do we have less energy, but it doesn't move around the system. It doesn't move around the body as effectively. That's what dirty blood is about. Then you got the lymphatic system. That can also be dirty. The lymphatic system is technically part of the circulatory system. It's kind of an artificial distinction, the lymph from the blood, but they look different. Lymph is clearer or clearish, whitish, clearish, as opposed to the blood. But it's basically the same system. They meet at the level of the cell. The blood turns into the lymph turns back into the blood. And the lymph turns into the blood right around your neck area. And then the blood turns back into the lymph at the very tiny levels of the cell. The cell is sitting in this soup that is composed of a cross between the blood and the lymph. And it's this soup that's messed up when the cell is messed up. It's a soup problem. All disease is cell disease, but the cell is perfect until the soup gets messed up. The soup is where the cell is getting fed. The soup is what gets toxic. The soup is what the cell is swimming in. And anybody who still believes that genetic nonsense, the silliness about I'm going to get my genes, I'm going to get my breast taken off because my genes are different, should understand that the genes turn on and off based on the level of the soup. Fix the soup, clear the soup, feed the soup. The soup gets fed, the soup gets oxygen, the soup gets cleared by the circulatory system. That's health right there, you guys. Soup and cells and blood and energy and organizing molecules and oxygen. That's really what we're talking about when we talk about health. And it has nothing to do with your doctor. Yesterday we read an article, 200,000 people a year die from medical errors. It used to be 100,000. Now it's doubled. It was 100,000 in the year 2000. 18 years later, it's doubled. And it's not the doctor's fault. It's the nature of the medical model. It's not the doctor's fault. Do not blame the doctor for the medical errors. It's our fault. We're complicit. We go to the doctor and expect miracles. Now, it's true. They tell us they're going to perform miracles, and actually they don't even. They imply that they can perform miracles. But the fact of the matter is, there's nothing the doctor can do for soup and energy and micronutrients and macronutrients, etc. All right. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Time to take a break. You're listening to The Bright Side. 844-236-6010 is our number. We'll return.
What if they...
We are back on the bright side. I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number, and we do have lines open for you. 844-236-6010. If you have questions about anything we're speaking about here today, or health challenges, or questions about ingredients, formulations, skin health questions. If you got questions about our Truth Skin Health products, which are all available at truthtreatments.com, we're here for you. If you have questions about the longevity products as well, which are all available at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, and criticalhealthnews.com. You can also sign up to join the Brightside Ben team off our websites by clicking on the Join the Team link, and a one-time $25 fee will get you in business for yourself. You can write off your home office or mileage or stamps or anything you use for your business, or that is at least partially used for your business. And of course, you can also make some supplemental income or some full-time income. And you can help change the world at the same time. At the most basic and fundamental level there is, I'm not exaggerating, changing the world is literally what you will be doing when you change people's lives. This is a business opportunity that will allow you not only to make money for yourself, not only to work out of your home, at work as an entrepreneur, make your own business, make your own hours, but also to help change lives. Call 866-735-2470 for more info, or click on the Join the Team link at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. Okay, so we are talking about the energy system of the body. Food represents energy, raw material, raw energy, and then micronutrients are the organizing molecules. That's the macro and micronutrition we've been talking about. That's why it's important to eat whole unprocessed foods. And at the same time, supplementing your income. And by income, I'm talking about supplementing your calorie income. Supplemental income means to supplement. You should have all of the nutrients, the micronutrients in the foods, but we don't. I hear people tell me all the time, I just eat foods. I don't supplement. I eat it. I was talking to a gal last week on Skype. We were talking about how important it was to supplement, and she said to me, "Oh, I just do it the natural way." And I wish we could do it the natural way, but our food doesn't have the organizing molecules in it. That's why it's so important to supplement, or at least it doesn't have as much as it needs to have. Oxygen's also important. Respiration, that's inhalation and exhalation. That's where the molecules are burnt. Oxygen burns things. Oxygen is if you want to put a fire out, you rob it of oxygen. If you want to put your life fire out, you rob it of oxygen. You rob your body of oxygen, your life fire goes out. You rob your fireplace of oxygen, your fireplace fire goes out. That's why they put sand on forest fires, and foam on forest fires, and even water on forest fires. The blood is the main component, is the main delivery component, as well as the lymph. They're both important. It's the lymph and the blood that feeds the cells. All disease is cell disease. All cell disease is preceded by dirty blood and dirty lymph. We should add that. Say a dirty circulatory system. If the medium that the cell is sitting in does not have oxygen, if it's toxic, if it's robbed of micronutrients, the cell's going to be sick. And guess what else? The genetics of the cell will change. This is so important. The genetics changes depending on the soup. So if you think it's in your genes, you'd be a lot smarter, or it would be a lot more productive for you to change your soup, to change your oil, to clean your soup, to clean your oil, so to speak. By the way, the genetics is inside the cell. The soup is outside the cell. How does the genetics know what's happening outside the cell? From the membrane. That's the brain. That's the information processor, the membrane. The cell membrane is the most important component of the cell. You can take the nucleus out of the cell and it will live. It will live for months. Until it needs to divide, it will be fine. However, you take the membrane off of the cell, it dies. The membrane is the brain. The membrane's telling the inside what's happening at the level of the outside. Do you think the membrane's important? You better believe it's important. The membrane's mostly composed of fats, or at least largely composed of fats, essential fatty acids and cholesterol and saturated fats. It also has a sugar coating. The fats are so important. Fat digestion is the first thing that is the most important thing that goes wrong with our digestive system. It's the fat absorption, because fat absorption is very complicated. That's why if you had a gallbladder taken out, you're going to be in trouble. Not that you can't do anything about it, but you got to really pay attention. If you have liver disease, you're going to be in trouble. Not that you can't do anything about it, but you got to really pay attention. If you have dysbiosis, messed up gut bacteria, you want to correct it because the gut bacteria play a major role in how well the body processes fats and how cells will make membranes, and that means how the genetics is going to work because the membrane is communicating to the genes. So in these three main areas, the respiration, that is oxygen, blood circulation, fluid circulation, I should say, fluid circulation in the system, and nutrition, you've got the three main causes of physical disease. Hemodynamics, that is the circulatory system, lymph and blood, how well it moves, the respiratory system, and nutrition, and none of it requires a doctor. None of it. Goodbye to the medical model if we want it. Actually, it'll probably be reserved for surgery and traumatic procedures. But can you imagine this? If we figure this thing out, it will be goodbye. The doctor will be delivering pizzas, or health pizzas anyway, or doing drywall, doing something productive, because doctoring for chronic degenerative disease is not productive. Doctors who charge money for chronic degenerative disease patients should be embarrassed because there's nothing they can do. What are they taking your money for? To slow down your chronic degenerative disease? It's just nasty. And that's why Doc gets mad, and that's why sometimes I get mad too. I don't want to blame the doctor though. It's the model, and we're part of the model as much as he is, or he or she is. So nutrition, respiration, and the movement of fluids through the body. And also, by the way, you can throw in movement in general, not just the movement of fluids, but the movement of the body. So movement as well as rest, because it's a cycle. Movement and rest occur in a cycle. That's how you get pulsing through the body. That's how you get the pulsing of the fluids. The fluids pulse through movement and rest. You got nutrition, you got respiration, you got movement and rest. Where have you heard that before? I call it the fourfold square of health. Nutriate, respirate, move, and rest. Nutriate, get that energy in the system and the micronutrients to use the energy. Respirate, burn that energy, and blow off toxicity as well. And then move the body, and then rest the body. In fact, movement and rest should be a complete pleasure for us. Moving the body is a pleasurable thing if it's moved correctly and it's not moved too much. We like rest a lot more than we like movement, but we still need to have some movement. The combination of movement and rest should be quite pleasurable if it's done correctly. If the body is healthy, movement is a wonderful thing. Movement generates pleasure. It generates pleasure chemistry. It generates healing chemistry. It generates anti-aging chemistry. Kids love to move. But the rest is also important. In fact, it's the movement within the context of rest that accounts for, number one, the health benefits associated with the movement, and number two, the pleasure benefits associated with the movement. You've got to have the rest, the long, luscious, delicious, beautiful rest. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. You're listening to The Bright Side. We'll take a commercial break and come back with you and your phone calls and more good health information right after this. We're back on The Bright Side. I'm Pharmacist Ben. We're on the air Monday through Friday, 8 to 9 Pacific, 10 to 11 Central Time, and 24/7 on the archive page at brightsideben.com, brightsideben.com. Also, longevity products are available at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. You can also call 866-735-2470 for more information, 866-735-2470. And also would like to remind you to check out our Truth Skin Health products at truthtreatments.com. I formulated Truth Treatment products originally formulated my Truth Treatment products, my compounding pharmacy. That is why you can use all our Truth treatments, our Truth Biomimetic Mineral Mist, our Truth Transdermal C Serum, Truth Transdermal C Balm, and of course our Truth Omega-6 Healing Cream for healing the skin, for healing sunburn, for healing diaper rash, for healing cuts and scrapes and abrasions, because they were formulated as healing products. Healing and anti-aging are the same biochemical mechanisms. And your anti-aging product and your cosmetic product, your skin health product, I should say, should be able to heal the skin if it's going to be effective. You can find out all about our Truth Skin Health products at truthtreatments.com, truthtreatments.com. We also have supplements up as well. Our collagen recovery complex and blemish repair complex are available at truthtreatments.com too. All right, we got lines open for you at 844-236-6010. Excuse me, 844-236-6010. If you have questions about anything we're speaking about here today, or the longevity products or your longevity business, or if you have a health challenge that you or a loved one needs help with, or if you just have a success story you'd like to share, 844-236-6010 is our number. I've got a couple news stories here, and then we'll get your phone call. So hang on, and we do have lines open for you. Type 2 diabetes need not mean a higher risk of heart attack or stroke. In a new study, Swedish researchers compared risk factors in 271,000 people with diabetes and 1.3 million people without diabetes. They looked at risk factors like blood sugar and albumin in the urine, and whether patients smoke. During the 5.5-year study, people who had diabetes, but none of the risk factors, were no more likely to die or have a heart attack or stroke than those with diabetes. What does that tell you? That tells you diabetes is an artificial diagnosis. It's not the diabetes that's the problem. That's just a silly word, diabetes. It's just, and this is the same with all diagnosis. The word isn't what causes the problem. So it's no surprise that just because you have a word, that doesn't mean you have a higher risk of a heart attack. Diabetes is a word. The problem is the messed up blood sugar, which is a process, which is a verb. Diseases are verbs. If you have the verbs, you got a problem. But just because you have the noun, that doesn't mean nothing, except for how much insurance you're going to pay and what kind of drugs the doctor's going to give you. Diabetes is a process, and that is such good news to anybody who has this, who is diabetes-ing. Diabetes-ing, Alzheimer's disease-ing, arthritis-ing, liver disease-ing. If you're diabetes-ing, it doesn't matter whether you have the name diabetes. It matters if your blood sugar's messed up. It matters if you have albumin in the urine, which is a marker of kidney disease. It matters whether you're smoking cigarettes. It matters whether your blood pressure is whacked out. What matters is the verbs, the processes in the body. So no shock here. Just because you have diabetes doesn't mean you're at higher risk of anything, period. But if you're diabetes-ing, you're in trouble. All right, let's see here. Positive results from Alzheimer's drug. Pharmaceutical company Biogen has today announced the results. This is from a few months ago. The results of an extended phase 1b clinical trial of the potential Alzheimer's disease drug aducanumab. Anytime you hear UMAB or MAB, you're talking about a drug that shoots down antibodies, that shoots down the body's defensive chemicals. Just like a heat-seeking missile, these kinds of drugs that end with a UMAB, they call them biologics. They're antibodies. They're heat-seeking missiles that shoot down various things in the body. This is just high-tech medical stupidity. Now, the medical model, the drug companies, have figured out how to shoot missiles at different parts of the body's immune system. And by shooting these missiles that take down various components of the immune system, you don't have an immune reaction. Oh, that's a great thing. Yeah, you shot down the chemicals of the immune system. First of all, aside from the amazingness of it, the whole just crazy high-tech nature of this stuff, which is amazing, how they can literally target specific chemicals in the immune system to shoot it down so that the immune system just doesn't work. In this case, by the way, in this new drug, they're going to shoot down the fibers, the plaques, the amyloid. They say, well, you got amyloid in your brain, you got fibers in your brain, you got plaques in your brain, that must be the cause of the Alzheimer's disease. Let's shoot down those plaques. Let's shoot down the chemicals that make those plaques. It's of course sort of similar to the vaccine they want to come out with for the amyloid plaques. Do you know there's a disease, there is a process in the body called amyloidosis that can occur in your joints and in your liver and in various soft tissues of the body? It's Alzheimer's disease of the liver. Amyloidosis of the liver is Alzheimer's disease of the liver. Yes, you can have Alzheimer's disease in your liver based on this mechanism because amyloidosis, the excess secretion of the amyloid fibers that occur in the brain of Alzheimer's dementia patients happens anywhere. It's a sign of repair. It's a sign of chronic repair. It's a sign of long-term damage. The question isn't, or the problem isn't the plaques, it's the long-term damage. Alzheimer's disease is arthritis of the brain. Arthritis is Alzheimer's disease of the joints. It's all the same mechanism. It's just a deterioration of the body following all the stuff we've been talking about here on the bright side for forever, since I started. It's all the same basic ideas. And if you're going to the doctor to treat a specific chronic illness, whether it's osteoporosis or arthritis or Alzheimer's disease, you're wasting your time, you're wasting your money. And don't blame the doctor. It's us. Because we are abdicating responsibility for the major factor that's involved in the deterioration of the body that shows up as Alzheimer's or diabetes or arthritis, and that's how we live our lives. Vis-a-vis the food we eat, the nutrition we get or don't get, the way we breathe, the way we move, the way we rest, not to mention the spiritual and mental and emotional aspects of health. All right, 844-236-6010 is our number. Let's go to Mark in Colorado and say good morning. What's up, Mark? Welcome to the bright side.
Hey, Ben. I went to the doctor. I got a lump under my skin on my arm. It's called lipoma, and they wanted to cut it out. I said I'm going to call Ben first.
Okay. They must have loved that. You didn't say that, though, yeah. I hope. So listen, you may need it cut out, but the question is, why do you have it? That's the real question. Yeah. So whether you get this, lipoma, by the way, it's a fatty lump. It's fat. Lipid means, LIP means fat, lipid, and oma means body. So it's a fat body, technically, and it's basically a lump between your skin and your muscle layer. Between the skin and the muscle, you have a layer of fat. And if that fat is not processed correctly, what you could end up with is fat that's leaking out of the cells and just sitting there as a lump of fat, basically. It's a tumor, really. It's a benign tumor, but it's a tumor nonetheless, and it's a sign that your cells aren't growing correctly and they're not processing, they're not doing their business correctly. There probably has to do with cellular energy, which is all the things we've been talking about. So let's have a discussion here when we come back from our break. And by the way, are you on any medication, I should ask you?
No. No.
And you sound young. You're 40s? How old are you?
No, 62.
Oh, you're 62. All right. Well, then you got a history, my friend, and we got to talk about that. So don't go away, sir. We'll finish up when we come back from our break. If you're on hold, hang on. And we do have lines open, 844-236-6010. You're listening to The Bright Side. We'll be back after this. On the bright side, 844-236-6010 is our number. Got lines open for you. We're talking to Mark in Colorado about lipomas. Mark, you there?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, where in Colorado are you, first of all?
I'm in down in Highlands Ranch area.
Oh, you're in Highlands Ranch. Have you and I met?
South of you? Yeah.
You and I
we have not. I'd like to meet you sometime. No.
Okay. All right, cool.
I'd like to come
by my lab.
So
I do skin talks at my lab.
Okay.
I have a lab downtown, and I do skin talks there, so you should just keep listening to the program. You'll hear about it. And lipomas are typically in your 60s. Usually people get them a little bit younger, but nonetheless, they're not. It's not like the lipoma itself is the problem. It's why you have it that's the problem. So does it hurt or anything?
No, it doesn't.
Does it get in the way?
I just noticed it. No, I just noticed like on my.
You don't need surgery for it. You don't need surgery for it. No, there's no need for surgery for it. That's what they do, but that's just what they do. But you don't need surgery for it. But the bigger concern is why you have it, because it shouldn't happen.
Right.
So that's telling me that something's going on with the way you process food, especially fats. And if you're in your 60s, that's understandable. That's just how we live our lives. So I'd be looking at fat because you don't want things to get worse. So while the lipoma itself is not the end of the world, and I don't know if I would be, if surgical procedure is it's not a big-time surgery or anything, so I wouldn't worry about that too much. But the real issue is you don't want to have surgery and then keep living your life the way it is, the way you are. So you want to look at fat metabolism and also use fatty nutrients, because if you're not processing fats correctly, you may not be absorbing vitamin A, you may not be absorbing vitamins E, D, and K, you may not be absorbing certain minerals. So you really want to figure out what's going on in the digestive system, and you will have symptoms. You don't have a lipoma without other symptoms, typically in the digestive system, so I'd be looking for those. They may be going under the radar. You may have had them your whole life. You may just not notice them for whatever reason. But pay attention to what foods are causing problems, what foods you're not processing, and then address the digestive issues accordingly, and then also use fatty supplements, nutrients for fats, and then also don't forget digestive enzymes with all your meals, especially fatty meals. I like the Ultimate Enzymes because you'll get bile salts in there, and that'll help you too. You may want extra bile salts. You may want to go get yourself some lecithin granules and use them with foods as well. So there's a whole bunch of stuff, but it's basically fats and fat digestion, and then also the specific organs like the liver and the intestine and the gallbladder that are, and the pancreas and the stomach for that matter, that are involved in fat digestion that I'd be focusing on. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Makes
sense.
sense.
Hey, I have one other question too. Do you have do you recommend like a naturopath in your area, or
I hate to say it to my friends because I have a lot of friends who are naturopaths, but they're just as bad as doctors. A lot of them, most of them, they just do. I'm sorry to say it. I hate saying it. I know I'm going to get some flack from some of my friends, but they're another kind of doctor. They doctor differently. They don't doctor with drugs, but they still doctor. I don't think we need to be doctored. I think we need to be nutriated and fed. We don't need to be fixed. We need to be fed. And that's where I differ with naturopathy, although it's certainly better than allopathy for sure. So, no, I wish I could tell you I could recommend, but I can't off the top of my head. I'm sure they're out there, though.
Okay.
All right, Mark. Take care, buddy.
Okay, thanks.
Oh, did you want to say something else?
Oh, yeah. Looking up what you said, where you at you have something downtown, your clinic or something like that?
Yeah, I have a lab downtown where I do all my skincare stuff, and I also teach classes and we do videos and stuff like that. But I have the public in once every 6 to 8 weeks. We do some skincare stuff, so just keep listening to the program, okay?
Okay, I'll do that. Thanks.
All right, Mark. Thanks, Sam. Take care.
Thanks so much. Okay.
All right. Let's go to our old friend Truth Raider. What's up, Carl? How you doing, man?
Ooh.
What's going on?
Happy Halloween.
Oh, yes, sir. Happy Halloween to you. What's going on?
Great day. Every day is Halloween for me. Anyway, 8 years. Congratulations on that. You're coming up on your 8th anniversary.
Is it 8 years?
On the GCN Radio Network.
Really? 8 years? This is my 8th year?
So,
I didn't even know that.
When we've been finding out good health and nutritional information and alternative.
Oh, my God. I was a young man.
In November, Pharmacist Ben has been on the radio for 8 years.
Wow. Well, no, I've been doing this radio thing for a long time, but on GCN for 8 years. So that's a lot of stuff. That's a lot of archives. That's a lot of health information. I'd like to hear what I sounded like 8 years ago.
Oh, got it in the archives. Anyway, now, time is short, so I'm going to get to it real quick. Visceral fat versus cortisol. You've seen the advertisements. I know you've seen them. You always have to click them off. It's a gentleman selling something, but he's all buff and everything. He's talking about being over 40 years old. Is this happening to you, men? And he has this great big, the yellow blob he has. This is what's holding you down. This is what's bringing down your testosterone. Visceral fat. Okay,
visceral fat is the belly fat. And it's the fat that surrounds your organs as opposed to subcutaneous fat, which is the fat that's underneath your skin. And even if you're skinny, you could still have lots of visceral fat. So you got it. Visceral fat is really, that's the issue. So it is the visceral fat. Now, cortisol is a storage hormone, or I shouldn't say it's a storage hormone. It's a breakdown hormone. But one of the things that breaks down is it will break down sugar. It will release sugar from the liver, and that will start your whole diabetic cascade, and you'll have a bunch of sugar floating in your blood, and the sugar turns to fat. So cortisol is definitely an issue. Stress hormone is an issue. Now, what is this guy selling? A supplement?
Some type of thing. I click it off every time.
Okay. He's probably selling a supplement. That's been going on for about 20 years or so, this idea of supplementing to stabilize cortisol to get rid of visceral fat. It's not a bad idea to use those things, to use those nutrients, but I wouldn't buy somebody's formula. I'd be buying vitamin A and vitamin E and pregnenolone and just getting on a good nutritional supplement program. The most important thing you could do to reduce cortisol so you can reduce visceral fat is lower your blood sugar and then relax. It all boils down, Carl, the Truth Raider, to the good old triangle of disease. Work on the digestive system, the blood sugar system, and then reduce cortisol. I'd have to see the specific supplement to tell you how valuable it is, but in theory, he's right. Lowering your cortisol, theoretically, if you did everything else correctly, would help you lose visceral fat, and visceral fat is a problem, absolutely. And you don't have to be fat. You could be skinny and have lots of visceral fat, and that could be an issue for sure.
Absolutely.
All right. All right. Thank you, Carl, the Truth Raider. Take care, man. Appreciate it. And let's go to Cliff our old friend Cliff in Canada. What's up, Cliffy?
Hey,
how you doing, man? You always have something smart to say, Cliff. What do you got for us today?
This is about the 12th day of being med-free, and so therefore it's out of my system according to the pharmacist because we calculate the half-lives and everything.
Okay, gotcha.
So therefore, so this.
How do you feel? How do you feel?
Wow, my brain works a lot better, man. I was, I didn't realize until, even though I was on this really small dose.
Zyprexa, right?
Yeah, I'm telling you, it makes a big difference. My brain, everything I recall comes right to my, I try to recall something, it's right there. Before there was always some kind of delay. It was searching through something to get the information. Now it's there.
Are you using supplements?
Just the fish oil so far, and I eat sauerkraut out of the barrel, though, the good stuff.
Okay.
I eat, pickled beets.
Okay.
But go into supplements now.
How about micronutrients? What are you getting for vitamin C and the B complex, anything like that?
Just it's I just try to eat the food. I eat these giant salads. I eat I like citrus. I'll drink I squeeze out orange, lemon, and lime. I try to eat stuff like grapes and peach, plums, things like that. Not enough though. I'm not getting enough, and this is what I got to start with.
Why aren't you doing the Beyond Tangy Tangerine or some kind of micronutrient?
It's a matter of getting it up here, and ordered, and also the money, and plus I'm going to order a whole bunch of it, and also we have a postal strike here. They're doing weird things. So
I heard about it. Is that still going on? The postal strike? I did hear about that.
What they do is they kind of they have different strikes in different areas, so they screw everything up. So it's you don't know if you order something if it's going to get there 100% because a lot of people are delaying doing their orders. But I don't know, maybe it would come up by some kind of other service a courier or something. Other company.
There are people in Ontario. There are people in Ontario, in Toronto specifically, and Ottawa for that matter, who are selling Beyond Tangy Tangerine. You can get it. You don't have to. There's actually a warehouse in Toronto.
I can order it myself. I didn't know. Yeah, there probably is. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to order it from the States. You can just. You should just call. You just call the warehouse in Toronto. Just look it up in the book. And they can just, All right, Cliff, I got to go, man. Thank you so much for your call. Appreciate it. And thank you to everyone for listening. Thank you for your support and your love. And I appreciate all of you guys. Check out our websites, brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, and criticalhealthnews.com for the longevity products, and truthskinhealth.com for all our Truth Skin Health products. Thanks for listening, friends. Have yourselves a wonderful, beautiful, awesome, spectacular day. I'm Pharmacist Ben. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye for now.